right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Another Bourbon Show. Tonight we are drinking one of the best bourbons I can think of. This is a really great bourbon. We're going to be drinking some Jack Daniel's Rye, the single barrel rye. Hey, is this barrel strength or is this 80 proof?
This is 47% alcohol.
So 94 proof.
94
Sorry.
proof, yeah.
Sorry about that. So, all right. But yeah, this is a really good bourbon. Looking forward to trying this one. And so I keep saying that because
it's not a bourbon, it's a rye.
it's a rye. But there's always a whole lot of drama about, is Jack Daniel's whiskey, is that bourbon? Or is it not bourbon?
Well, it's not bourbon because you have to make it in Bourbon, Kentucky. Otherwise, it's not bourbon.
It's got to be from Bourbon County, Kentucky. Everybody knows that. And only if the moon is in a certain phase, then it's blessed and becomes bourbon. That's
you have
heard
to have
it here
a rabbi
first, folks.
come by, and then he can say, "This is Buffalo Trace kosher wheat now."
So Ryan, is that a
Yeah.
like? Are your hands giant?
This is
Or
a
is that a
375.
375? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I
You
got
should-
this in like it was like a gift set a couple years ago. It was this, the regular Jack Daniel's single barrel, and then there was a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof
Okay.
one. So it came in a set of 3.
Your answer should have been like, nope, Dan, my hands are giant.
Yeah. I mean, I got nice hands. I'm no George Costanza, but
So Jack Daniel's Rye, single barrel, 94 proof. Not much more to say about it, really, but I do want to know what Steven's thoughts are on the label.
Before I get to the label, Dan, I gotta hit Ryan with a label rating because after all the talk we had last time about, or maybe not last time, but one of these times about the label and how you apply them to these little vials, this one is just taped directly onto the thing, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass for me to get off, I feel like.
And can I throw out there the fact that it looks like it's used tape?
It's packing
he-
tape. He doesn't
like-
It is
have
packing
more than
tape.
one kind of tape.
well, I originally had it on top, and then Maheen started helping, and then she actually taped that in the middle. So that was actually not my doing. Are there a few where it's not taped on top?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this
that's when
one,
she took
this one
over
was on
halfway.
top.
She took over halfway through and did that.
Okay.
But on many of them, it does look like it's used tape.
We can
That's not
drop
used
it now.
tape.
Dan, I'm sad. We don't have to push this any further. He's thrown his wife under the bus. That's all I wanted. We can move on.
Yeah.
All right. I think the bottle is a good looking bottle. I'll say one thing that shocks me right off the bat is that they didn't use a green label. They used a red label for the rye, which is super unusual. But I think I have seen somewhere else, struggling to say where it was, but I believe I've seen another one that has a similar red. Yeah, could be Old Overholt bonded. But yeah, it seems like it's either a green or kind of like this amber red. And you know what? I like the amber red. I think it matches the whiskey pretty well. It's not the exact same color, so it's just a nice complement to it. Whenever you have a full bottle there, it's still a very legible, nice looking label. This is the same as like all like the Jack single barrel labels. I think they look good. I'm always a fan of whenever it's a like a barrel pick, I'm always a fan of like the little badge thing they put on it too. That's like a heavy looking, it's a serious badge. I think it's a good presentation for the Jack stuff. And again, it looks like a Jack product from far away. You can tell that it is, even though it's such a distinct, you can tell you're getting a more premium maybe bottle, but it still looks like a Jack product. So I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's a very solid bottle and label. And I like the choice of going with a red for the rye. I think green would have looked a little weird here. It just looks a little more elegant because of the direction they went with it here.
Cool. Brian, anything to add?
I don't know if you can see on the bottom there's a JD barrel
On a barrel.
emblem right
That's cool.
there.
It's
Yeah,
very cool.
which is pretty cool. And then it's got the size of the bottle. But yeah, I think it looks elegant. That red, like ambery color that you mentioned, Stephen. I agree. It wouldn't have looked as good with the green bottle, and even their regular rye. I can't. It's like almost like a creamy white colored bottle, and I think there is some aspects of green on it, but none of their ryes are that predominantly green color except for Woodford. And I think their Old Forester rye's got some green on the bottle too. But yeah, it's just elegant, sleek. It looks really good on a shelf. This is the 375, but the 750 is the exact same, obviously, but bigger. The specs are all the same. It's just, not the 750. But yeah, I think it looks great.
Very cool. Ryan, do you have any insight into the mash bill or anything about the product?
Hold on. The
You
mash
can
bill
say
on here,
no.
Yeah,
I don't.
that is a no.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a-
a
yeah.
no. I thought, looking on the back, I thought there was something on there, but it's all "don't drink whiskey if you're pregnant" label.
Which
So
is good insight.
That is, yeah.
it is.
They are looking out for their customers. Good for them.
If only your mom would have held off just a few more months.
Yeah. I do have the mash bill. I did have it up on the website though. It's 70% rye, 18% corn, 12% malted barley.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I was just curious. And yeah.
12% malted barley. I think that's going to come through in a big way. It's going to be a spicy, spicy boy.
You think the barley's what's going to make it spicy?
Well, the barley on top of obviously being a rye. That's all.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
The fuck is he talking about? Dude?
Listen. I'm kind of defensive, Dan. Okay,
I'm sorry.
because I've been around you a little too much. It's like, you know how when people hit dogs a lot and then you go like that and they cower. That's just what I did. It was a verbal reaction.
I was trying to figure out why you said it. That's all.
Yeah, I'm high tension. I'm like a proofed up bourbon.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I don't mean to proof you up. I don't want to do that to you, Steve.
It's all right. We're cool. We got the blue lights in the aquarium. We're cool.
Yeah. Should I turn the lights off and we should just chill?
Yeah, we might get banned off YouTube though.
For what?
Because it looks like you're in blackface when you do that.
That's true.
Yeah. Probably keep it PG and keep the lights on.
All right, let's do it.
And there's no way of
keep it
telling
that
what
way.
you're doing either with the lights off.
Oh, but we know what I'm doing.
I know.
But we know. All right, what do you say we try this stuff out? Let's give it a go. Let's find out if it's a spicy boy, like Steven says.
On the nose,
Eh.
a lot of spice.
A lot of spice. That super spicy barley is really barley's known for its spiciness, and it is.
And not just caramel, but the typical banana flavor that you get from a lot of their
It's
products.
there. It is there.
I think maybe some toasted pecan as well.
I can see that. Yeah. I did want to mention that for the listeners and for the viewers, a second ago, Ryan said made a reference to of their products, and then he said something about Old Forester. He was referencing the fact that Jack Daniel's is owned by Brown Forman, and Brown Forman also owns Old Forester Woodford Reserve. And I meant to mention that a second ago to connect that for folks, but I forgot until now. So
My fault on that.
guys, calm down.
Sorry, Dan.
Chill. Come on.
Well, cheers.
Zen. Have a Zen moment, okay? Cheers, y'all. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's a tasty boy.
Very tasty.
Going back to what Steven said, a spicy boy, right?
Yeah.
That's tasty.
Maybe the most peppery. I don't know. That's probably not the right word, but I'm trying to think of the exact word. But it's as if you put a little too much spice on a piece of food, and you eat it. It's like it's potent. It's potent, is what I'm trying to say. It's intensely flavored, but it comes off really well, and it has a great finish to it. That finish is banana nut bread.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like
It is.
buttery, too. It's got that. I get like a buttery texture.
Very oily.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intense. There's a lot of stuff happening in your mouth. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I really think the finish is the best part to me. Not that I don't like any of it, but the finish is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Dan,
I
you
said,
look
banana nut
perplexed.
bread.
No, I mean, looking at the legs on this glass, like the lines from where the oil is like residually on the glass is insane.
Looks like the top of a Maker's Mark bottle.
It does.
It does, yeah. It seriously is just dripping all over the place. You can see exactly like the contour on the glass where it came to meet my mouth, and it's just like, and now dribbles going back down. It's crazy.
At the same time, it's a pretty dry finish.
I kept thinking the same thing, that it's a dry finish, but with all that oil. What appears to be oil, right? Like,
It
What's
does
the
kind of
proof-
have that. It doesn't taste like a red wine, but after you drink a very dry red wine, similar, just a similar mouthfeel.
What's the proof on this again?
94. It's 47% alcohol.
Seems way higher.
yeah,
I think it seems
It does.
115 maybe. Something like that.
I could see it being that high. Yeah, like that would not shock me. And the fact that this bottle exists at barrel proof, I'm wondering what that tastes like. Like, does it just have the same heat level?
We got
You know,
Or-
from the gift set I had, it wasn't the rye. It was just the regular Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. It wasn't the rye, but that barrel proof one I had, drinking it, it did not taste like it was, 62% alcohol or whatever it was, 62 and a half. You drink it, you're like, wow, that almost seems like, that 105, 110 range. It was very smooth for a high proof bourbon like that, which is interesting. This one seems to bat up when it comes to what you think the proof is, and their barrel proof seems a little lower than what it actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very complex.
You guys
And
haven't had it before either, right?
I have not.
No.
And I feel like this one's going to be really hard for me to rate. I'm like, that's where my brain's going to, is like, where am I going to rate this? Because I'm not sure yet. Anyway,
Keep drinking.
I will. If I drink enough, it might end up being a 10. I don't know. Or a 2. We'll see.
That's where you should hold your steering wheel. 10 and 2.
10 and 2. That's, yeah. And
Although
that's where
I think they've flip-flopped on that a few times. Because I think when I was going through driver's ed, I think they said at one point,
Now it should be 2 and 10.
Daniel, this is
Sorry.
why we wince. I think when I was going through driver's ed, it was like 3 and 9. I think they were saying something about how your arms will get shattered if the airbag comes out, or at least that's what somebody else said. And I was like, well, if you move your arms to the side, isn't just your face then? If that's the logic,
Yeah.
Take one of the chompers.
yeah. Well, thank God I had my face to block that instead of my hands.
I mean, that's the big reason why I just automatically disable all of my airbags, right? Like that way I don't have to worry about shattering my arms or my face
Yeah.
from the airbag if there's a wreck.
And you don't buckle your seatbelt. You're just like, listen, man. You've said before.
Just let me die.
Exactly. You said before, just let me die.
Just let me die.
Have you guys been in an accident where an airbag was deployed?
No.
No.
Neither have I.
I've rolled a vehicle.
And the airbags didn't go?
I mean, this was a 1987 Ford Ranger. I don't think they had airbags.
Just reminds me of that scene of Dumb and Dumber where he's like biting the airbag.
Nah, I've never been in a wreck where the airbag deployed. I've only been in like 2 wrecks though, so
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I feel like having this conversation is probably a bad
It's bad
omen.
luck.
yeah.
I used
So
to know
when
a-
that, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I used to know a kid in high school who he wasn't disabled, but he had a wheelchair for some reason that like was just like maybe his grandma's or something like that was like in his garage or whatever. He brought it over to a friend's house one time and he was doing like he was showing these different tricks he could do in it. Like he was like good in like a wheelchair, like doing tricks and stuff. And everybody's like, "You're tempting fate, you know that, right?" He was like, I don't care." He's like, "Check out this wheelie though."
Is he all right?
Yeah, I mean he's fine.
Damn.
So far.
You're fine until you're not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a little bit younger than us, so I don't even think he's 30 yet. He might be just turning 30. We'll see.
You're about a
His
month
kid-
out from 31.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, I know exactly how far I'm out from everything. You're about 9 years from 40.
I'll be 50 before y'all are 40, so there's that.
Man, at your 50th birthday party, Dan, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Isn't that a cool story?
Hopefully I'll just be dead.
Just think about that. When you turn 50, Dan, there is literally nothing to look forward to besides your own death.
I'm 44 and I can already say that. Okay?
That's true. That's true. Like every good thing is behind you. Ryan and I still have like 1 or 2 things, and that's not much, but it's enough for us to laugh at you right now.
I know. Why do you think I got a fish tank?
Did it help?
This is as good as it gets for me anymore, okay? Right? Like,
God damn, that's sad. Now I get golf.
Yeah.
yeah. I went golfing 3 times this year.
Jesus. Sorry,
Hey,
dude.
did I tell you guys what I'm trying to convince Andy to let me do though?
Dialysis.
No. I'm trying to get her to support me competing in the MR340. Do you know what that is, Steven? If anybody's going to, it should be you.
The MR340.
MR340.
It sounds so familiar.
It's a kayak race along the Missouri River. So you start in Kansas City. You've got 85 hours starting in Kansas City to finish in St. Charles. I'm trying to convince her to let me do that next year.
And would you try to train for it?
Yeah. I've already started. Just not like so I need a different kayak. Like my current kayak is not suitable for that. Um, so yeah, so I like I'll sit in a chair or on the floor, and I have dumbbells, and I just do like the
Right.
paddling motion.
Are there like designated camping sites or something?
No, there's not designated camping sites, but like there are. I guess yes. I guess kind of. There are lots of spots where they have identified and said you can stop overnight in any of these locations. And there are, I think there's 5 or 6 like required check-in locations where you like you have to paddle to a specific spot, check in, and continue going. But yeah, you've got 85 hours to finish, and
I've gone down there and watched that. I just forgot what it was called.
oh okay,
Yeah.
like when they're yeah.
And it's cool because
Uh,
you'll see people, basically you're at the finish line, seeing people cross the finish line and stuff. And it's cool to see all the different people with various backgrounds doing those kind of things because you'll have some of the ultra competitive people who finish kind of first, but then you'll see people come in, honestly, not long afterwards that are like, they're literally with their dog. Like they'll have dogs that are like well trained, or whatever, and just they sit on the front of their kayak or like there's other ones where they'll just allow them to have like whatever crafts and like they'll just have like
oh yeah,
rafts and stuff.
it doesn't have to be a kayak. It can
Yeah,
be. It just has to be like self-powered.
right.
Let's put it self-powered. It
And so
can't
sometimes
be.
people will have like 3 animals on a raft with them.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, what do you say we rate Jack Daniel's single barrel rye?
Let's do it. Do
Who
you want me
wants
to go
to go
first?
first?
I'll go
Yeah, if
first.
you're up for it, go for it.
I'm giving it a fucking 9.0.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm going high with this one. This cracks the nines. I was really debating on giving it potentially a little higher, a little lower. I think it's right there because I'm splitting the difference in my own mind and giving it a 9.0, which officially puts it just below Smoke Wagon in my revised rating for Smoke Wagon small batch. And then, and I don't know if we've done an episode on Uncut Unfiltered, but I'd give it a little higher than that, but probably still a little below Angel's Envy Rye, which means that all of my stuff that's super high is high rye or a rye. So I think we're seeing a pattern here, but this fits the mold perfectly to me. The finish is fantastic. That's the thing I want to really highlight here is the finish is one of my favorite in anything we've drank so far. I cannot recommend it enough. If you see a bottle of this on a shelf, it's one of those that you gotta grab along with Angel's Envy Rye. It's a standout in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. It drinks like it's a much higher proof, so I think that could turn some people off. But if you're listening to a whiskey podcast already, I think that you're probably okay with a little more punch, a little spiciness. And if you are, I think that you'll find that this gives a lot of the notes that people find desirable. And on top of that, it just has, in my opinion, a fantastic finish, although a little bit dry. So maybe have a glass of water on the side or something. But yeah, 9.0 for me.
Wow. I want to throw out there before I like Ryan. You can go next, but I do want to throw out there real quick based on Steven's rating only. This is not hard to find. Okay, it's readily available. It's consistently available. So keep that in mind, and it's not overpriced. It's what a $55, $60
Yeah.
bottle. Okay.
And they are, I know Jack Daniels, they, Brown Foreman as a whole, with their single barrel line, they've been going towards a lot of 375s lately just to kind of keep up with demand, focusing to ship to smaller sizes, but there will be more inventory of the higher end stuff if you don't see it. And I think one of the good things Brown Foreman and Jack Daniels have done, I mean, they've sold off a lot of their low hanging fruit to other companies, and they're really embracing the higher tier spirits. whether it comes to Woodford or just these high-end Jack lines, the Old Forester that they're making. I mean, it's all top notch. With this one especially, it does feel like it could be 110, 115 proof, and that's usually in my wheelhouse. So seeing that's only 47% and you're getting that much flavors, even though a little higher than Michter's, it's kind of that Michter-esque effect on it, where you wouldn't think something that's 47% alcohol could be that complex, and it is. Whether it's the cinnamon, the vanilla, I think you said banana shortbread on the finish, Stephen.
Banana nut bread.
Or banana nut bread, yeah. I think the banana shines through more so in this than a lot of other Jack Daniel's products that I've had. It's just there, and then combining it with that spice, and because there's that sweetness to like the banana and the vanilla, having that dry finish, I think, really does it wonders too. It's not over the top sweet, but that's good. So I'm gonna go an 8.5. I loved it too, and I'm glad Jack Daniel's is sort of giving away from, not that they ever had, that mindset of people thinking it's just a low tier everyday type item. I mean, they're really making good things under the Jack Daniel's name, and it's worth trying.
Cool. So, yeah, I wanted to make sure to throw out there that this is easy to acquire. It's like when you see it on the shelf, it's not going to be overpriced. Retailers are not, charging an allocated. It's not an allocated product. Like they can order it pretty much as they want, as far as I know. It is. Am I incorrect there, Ryan?
It's definitely been more readily available, but there have been some issues with inventory. But
A little bit. Okay.
nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's about to get harder to find after my rating.
I mean, there's at least 25 people who are going to be like, wow, maybe I should try this. Maybe I should go out and buy a bottle. So that's going to hit hard.
And maybe one or two will actually act on that.
Probably not. Let's
No.
be honest. So early on, I said I'm going to have a hard time rating it. And I'll explain why I said that in a second. In the end, I settled on an 8.1. And I thought an 8.1 was going to be a really high rating. Little did I know, Steven was going to drop the 9, and Ryan was going to follow that up with an 8.5. Like, that's off the charts high ratings here. And here my 8.1 I thought was going to be such a high rating. So my reason for not knowing for sure where I was going to rate it was based on that dryness that Steven talked about, and that I said I was waiting for somebody to say that. Sometimes a dryness can leave my mouth feeling dirty. It can make it feel like my teeth are wearing sweaters, that my tongue has got, I don't know, a piece of carpeting over the top of it. Dryness sometimes does that to my mouth. And I wanted to find out, is that what happens with this dry finish? And it didn't. It's a solid, good, complex sipper throughout. And then that finish is just fantastic. And yes, it's dry, but it doesn't give me that dirty mouth feeling that some dry finishes do. And because of that, I can bump it up to an 8.1. Whereas if it did give me that dirty mouth feeling, it was going to go down to, like, not shitting you, like a 6.4. Like, but it didn't. So I can give it that 8.1. But this is a really good product, and I agree that it's got a Michter's like high complexity, really, really strong flavors at 94 proof. This is one that I don't see any reason. Like, I'll try it at some point, but I see no reason to even try their barrel proof rye. Like the barrel proof single barrel rye that Jack, I see no reason to, because this is so complex, so full of flavors. At 94, what's an extra 20 proof going to do, right? Like, I just don't see a reason to even try it, but eventually I will. So 8.1 for me.
Another bourbon show.